Hey, folks, it's time for the quote of the day, and today's quote is going to come to you from honestly one of the most intelligent and creative minds in the history of humanity. And that's not overselling it, and everybody that knows anything about him absolutely agrees with this. Today is the birthday of the real life Tony Stark without the money, Nikola Tesla. Today is Tesla's birthday. Now, there are so many things to talk about with Tesla that it's impossible for me to touch on all of them, and so I'm really not even going to try. I'm just gonna give you what comes to mind and what I think of when it comes to Tesla. There is so much people have attached some like mysticism and like pseudoscience and all of these things that like for some reason they really want him to be this kind of seer that saw into the future and all these things, and that's fine, right? Like if you want to think that, if you want to believe that about him, go ahead. I'm sure he wouldn't care, but we don't need to do that. I mean, he was a futurist, no doubt about that, but he the dude did so much. He created so much. He literally was the one of the major building blocks of the modern world with his mind. And this is a man that was so incredibly intelligent, and a good portion of his intelligence comes from the fact that he had a photographic memory, something that he got from his mother. And his memory was such that he was actually expelled from school for it because they thought he was cheating because he had the ability to recall with perfect clarity basically everything. He never forgot anything. He once he had it in his head, he had the ability to call it up whenever he wanted to, which to be fair to me is the exact opposite of me. I I don't have that ability at all. I can go through and experience things and have points in time when I've made, life-changing had life-changing conversations with people, had moments that for 30 years apparently they remember vividly as a turning point in their life or a turning point in the way they saw the world, and they'll come to me and they'll say, "You know what? When we were 15 years old and we were at this guy's house and we were sitting on the couch and you said this, this, and this. It really woke me up. It really made a difference in my life." And I'll be like, "I don't even know who you are. I'm sorry. I don't have that. I don't have what Tesla had. I don't have that ability." And it's not a shot at anybody. It's not like I'm so big that I don't, it's just I genuinely don't have a recall ability. I've worked my entire life where, and for a long time I've always thought it was me living in the present so much that I don't focus on the past too much, and that could be part of it. But a lot of it is I'm not really aware. Like when I start doing stuff like this, when I start talking, I'm not really aware of any of it. I completely lose focus of where I am, who I am, what I'm saying. I just speak. And so a lot of times I have to figure out what I said after the fact. And so, this has happened to me over and over again where people say, "You said this thing this one time and it really affected me. You said this thing one time and it really changed my way of looking at things," and, so on and so forth. And I'll be like, "I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, and I'm sorry, but I just don't remember that. But I'm glad I said it." That being said, going back to Tesla, I when I heard that story, and I've known that story for a long, long time, and I've always wondered what that would be like, right? That power to just like learn something, and then from that point on, whatever you said, whatever you did, like just have that immediate recall, have that ability. And from what I understand about his mind, it wasn't just photographic in the traditional sense where he would see something and remember it. It was quite literally he had perfect memory. He could remember everything. And this is one of the ways that he was able to, with his imagination, construct things. Like there's a story of how he thought when he was walking through the park, when he thought of the first induction engine, and he literally grabbed a stick and started to do the plans for it in the ground on the stick because he wanted to make sure he caught it so he could, have it in his memory, because it was floating around in his imagination. And once he wrote it down, he was like, "Okay, I got it." And then he went and he made it. Like that's fucking like a level of genius that most people can't even imagine. Like you can't even, like even in your greatest like stories. You can't even imagine stuff like that. Like that's like next level Sherlock Holmesian kind of shit, right? Like they literally make TV shows and fucking movies about characters like Tesla was in real life. That's how intelligent he was. And so when people want to add all this extra, metaphysical mumbo jumbo and all that to him, it doesn't really, like I said, it wouldn't have bothered him, and it doesn't bother me. But I just, why? Like the dude was a fucking walking superhero. What the fuck are you talking about? Now, life didn't treat him as if he was a superhero, and this dude struggled to make the world a better place because of the one evil that we know exists everywhere we go, and that is money. He never had the money to make his dreams a reality. He never had the money to make it happen. And to find the money in today's world, because money is what makes the world go round as the greatest evil of all mankind, he you have to sell out to other people, and then you have to listen to those people, and that gets in the way of creativity. Now, with that, all of that said in mind, I want to get to the quote, because I'm actually going to give you two quotes by him today. And I think that they are sadly intertwined. The first one is one that I absolutely agree with, and I believe in my heart more than anything. Nikola Tesla once wrote, "Antisocial behavior is a trait of intelligence in a world full of conformists." Antisocial behavior is a trait of intelligence in a world full of conformists. I couldn't possibly agree more. Couldn't possibly agree more. Now I'm going to make this statement. This is my statement that I want to make to the world. And if you watch my videos and you enjoy what I have to say, write this down. This is a quote from me. Someday when I'm long gone, you can say this is a quote from Mr. Wizard or Pebble or Daniel or whatever you know me as. This is my quote that you can say. And I don't really have it written down, so I don't know exactly how it's going to go. But the idea is basically this: the most evil thing in this world, the thing that has stopped more progress and done more harm than anything else in this world, and that includes war and famine and plague and greed. All of these things are just a pittance compared to conformity. I believe that conformity, the desire to conform, the desire to be like others, the desire to follow the herd as opposed to strike out and doing your own thing. Tesla did his thing. He did his thing. He absolutely did his thing. Now, he couldn't find backing a lot of times. Yes, at one point in time he was rich. At one point in time he pissed it away in gambling. At one point in time he had all these opportunities, but that wasn't his genius, right? His genius was as an inventor and a scientist and to create things. His genius wasn't financial fucking management. His genius wasn't in running numbers at a fucking card table. Like, he did that for fun. He did that as a way to let off steam. And yeah, he lost a lot of money doing it. Fucking same, dog. But the reality is that if we had the ability to accept people for what they were and lift them up, let's see, that's the key. Acceptance. Acceptance is how you stop conformity. When you look at somebody for who they really are and you say, I accept you, that emboldens them, that strengthens them, and that allows them to bring their particular voice, their particular light, the thing that only they can do into the world. It's that fear of not being accepted. It's that fear of not being enough. It's that fear of not being liked that creates that conformity, that stifles progress in our world for literally all of human history. Now, the other quote by Nikola Tesla, which I think is very important. He once wrote in his book, My Inventions, peace can only come as a natural consequence of universal enlightenment. Let me read that again. Peace can only come as a consequence of universal enlightenment. Now, I don't know what his definition of that is, but I can promise you that you will never find peace and you will never find that enlightenment in conforming to what others think you should be. That will never happen on a universal level. I believe that it has to come from each individual finding their frequency and bringing it into the world. And then you can find universal enlightenment. Happy birthday to Nikola Tesla. and to the rest of you, take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'll talk to you soon.